Welcome to Accessing Life, a podcast focused on empowering people with developmental disabilities to live their best life. On this episode, Chester and BJ celebrate Autism and Neurodiversity Acceptance Month by chatting with OPWDD Peer Specialist Christopher Birstler. They chat about what neurodiversity means, as well as how Christopher helps advocate alongside and on behalf of people with developmental disabilities.
My name is Chester Finn, and today we have a guest for Neurodiverse Autism Month, Christopher Birstler. Welcome, Christopher.
Hello, Chester. Thank you for having me. Glad to be here.
Tell us a little about yourself.
Okay, well, for starters, I identify as being neurodivergent. I'm a peer specialist for New York State OPWDD, where I work directly with service recipients as well as on the policy level, and I also conduct training as part of my job. My journey to where I am today has been quite bumpy. I've been through a lot with my mental and physical health, and I've dealt with a lot of personal trauma as well. But I don't say that for pity. I say that to emphasize that going through so much to the point where it's made me not want to be here multiple times is actually a positive in a way, because it built my resilience and it led me to develop into what I coined #super advocate, since I've been in the position where I've been my own medical advocate like my whole life, and I've had to learn to navigate systems and my own services, and that allows me to be better positioned to serve those with OPWDD and in the greater community. If I can do it, you all can do it, and that's something that goes to life in general. If you have a strong why and the determination and mindset, then almost anything is possible.
That's true. Given the climate of what's happening with the ADA, how has the ADA helped you, and what do you think that we need to do to make it better for people to understand that it helps us?
That's a great question. For the first part of that, the ADA has assisted me in regards to being able to get accommodations back when I was enrolled in college. I'm not in college at this time, but when I was, that allowed me to have the successes that I did. The ADA has also assisted me when I was struggling with my physical health, with my chronic pain, because I didn't always feel I could take steps or etc. So looking for elevators, escalators has definitely, especially with public transit, has been a major aid to me. But I do want to say that although I have chronic pain, it doesn't define me. And the ADA has also assisted me in other ways, such as just being able to say, hey, I'm disabled, or hey, I'm this or that, and just making that known has been able to really assist me with receiving services and care. But that's the double-edged sword. I, as well as most, as well as others, we need to pick our own battles with who we shall what with and to what extent. And that's a way that I think the ADA could be improved, so people don't feel like they have to pick and choose what their issues are. They can just have the protections. I mean, legit hardcore top-down protections that are pretty hard set to prevent people from being discriminated against and being disenfranchised by perceived or actual disabilities, which I deal with on a day-to-day, even if it's simple ableist stigmatizing nuances in nonverbal body language or comments being made by people.
Christopher and I have talked so many times, and let me tell you, Christopher, your honesty and openness is really refreshing. So thank you for that. I appreciate how honest,
I appreciate
how
that.
honest you've been. So my question to you is, what do you hope to accomplish in your new role as a peer specialist? And for clarification, a peer specialist is to help to guide someone, a family, a person receiving services, or an agency through the system. That's the role of a peer specialist. But mostly it's working with families and people served.
As a peer specialist, a big emphasis on what we all do is we share our own lived experiences with the populations we're supporting to empower and those individuals and build connection and rapport and safety with them. And that then allows us on a deeper level to have bigger impact in regards to outcomes and supporting those we're working with. Like, really, I just want like to be able to use my job as a platform to break down stigma and combat ableism and empower those receiving services and those with unique abilities, which is a new term I started using instead of disabilities, to be their own advocates. And I guess that's like my largest overarching goal with the position. And I would also say focusing on healthcare and mental health, because those are core to my identity. And also just getting out there, like not being stagnant in regards to physicality, getting out there, traveling around the state, and just being at the table when it comes to decisions and policy. And I think I'll leave it there for now.
And just for those who are watching, what region are you in so people can connect with you? Because I think in your new job as a peer specialist, we would like people to connect with you as a resource to know where you're located.
I'm in Region 5, which encompasses the 5 boroughs of New York City, but my office specifically is located on Staten Island. And I would be more than glad to connect with individuals, families, and those who are carers to support those who are in the system of OPWDD. And no question or inquiry is too big or small. Even if I can't help you, I promise to find somebody who can or a resource to assist. And I look forward to connecting with folks.
And what would you say to somebody who calls you up and says, Christopher, gee, the system is frustrating? What would you tell them?
I would start by saying I myself am a recipient of the system. Like I receive services from OPWDD. And I would start with that to build the connection as a peer, sharing my lived experience. And I would also let them know that I would validate their frustrations, and I would aim to empower them to work with me, but have them taking their lead to get that support and help they need and make the changes they feel are wanted on a bigger level.
April is Autism Awareness Month. What does it mean to you to be neurodivergent?
To me, being neurodivergent means that my mind thinks and works in what I would consider a non-traditional way. Like, although everybody is unique and individual to themselves, no two people are identical, but being neurodivergent for me means using my unique abilities to not only go about my day-to-day life, professionally, personally, relationally, community, etc., but learning to continue accepting myself as who I am, and at the same time advocating for myself, but in a way that educates professionals and those around me in the process. Like, for example, like, I'm not afraid to stand up to people. If somebody calls me buddy, and if I sense it's in a ableistic, if I feel it's based in a ableist way, I'll say, hey, like, I prefer you or do respect, but please don't call me buddy. And that's just one example that came to mind. When it comes, April is Autism Awareness Month, as there is awareness months for many conditions, not limited to PTSD, Tourette's, which are two conditions that I have. When it comes to awareness months, they serve a purpose for educating society, as well as, but even more important than educating society, I see awareness months as a major opportunity for those who identify with the awareness to come out and open up and say, hey, I identify as having autism, or I identify as a cancer survivor, I identify as a survivor of intimate partner violence, etc., etc. And that brings more awareness, helps with inclusivity and building a mass of people who I'm building community. Like, if people come together and can see, oh, I can relate to this person, then that's a major goal achieved. And with Autism Awareness Month, I would challenge those who identify as being on the autism spectrum, or those who work or love somebody who is, to get out there, make their voice and support being heard in a way that is safe and comfortable. And just know that although awareness months are meant in a positive way, not everybody is going to feel that way. Some people may feel shame. Some people may be embarrassed or shut down when they hear or see an awareness month related to their unique challenges. And some might even be very uncomfortable with their diagnosis or label being talked about in front of them, even if it's not about them directly. And I've been there. Trust me, it can be very hard and very isolating and humiliating. But just know that more people can have good intention than not. And even if somebody makes a comment that is offensive to your unique ability, it's not normally not that they are trying to be mean. And I quote normally, because there's always situations where people are, but I find personally that it's normally they don't know or are unaware of what they're saying and how it impacts others.
What would be your advice to parents that have children that they consider neurodiverse, or that want to be a part of the community, that can be a part of the community, and what would you say to them?
First, I want to touch on the definition of neurodiverse. It's broad encompassing and can includes but isn't limited to autism spectrum disorders, ADHD, Tourette syndrome, as well as many other conditions, I believe including epilepsy as well. If there's parents or guardians of individuals who want to get involved in the community more and have the ability to, I would recommend the parents or guardians having a discussion with their children, or I want to say youth or adolescents. I don't want to use the word children. And I would just say sit down, like ask them what they want to do, what they see themselves doing in the community to get involved, and taking a dignity of risk perspective as they deem appropriate. Dignity of risk, for those who don't know, is weighing out risk and benefit to allow somebody to take a risk that, even though knowing there could be consequences, but that if all goes well, the benefit will outweigh the negative. And one resource that could be helpful is having like a mentor or somebody from a community organization, like maybe somebody who does community integration or something, to go out with your youth or adolescent to into the community and so then you can have more insight to how they're doing, and so they can get the training they need to be more comfortable to be able to, with the goal to function independently in the community, and just let your youth or adolescent take the lead with what they want to do. And that's probably the most important part.
That was a really good answer. I should have bottled that. I'm probably going to use that myself. Thank you. That was a really good
My
answer.
pleasure. Feel free to use, for all of you listening, as well as you folks on this podcast, feel free to use and share any of the advice and tips I'm giving.
Thank you very much, Christopher. You did a great job. Any final thoughts you want to leave our audience with?
Yes, just a little bit of motivation, a little bit of a pep talk. You all are your own best advocates. Nobody knows you and your story better than yourself. You are all strong and brave, and your voice matters. Don't let anybody limit your voice or your impact, and know that within New York State, the state itself, OPWDD, and down into your communities, there are resources to support you all, and people do care and do want the best for you. And I just wish you all the best on your journeys, and know that, and I would just encourage you all to consider the term unique abilities instead of disabilities, and just know that you all got this game called life.
Thank you, Christopher, for being here with us. And hopefully the audience will be contacting you, and we will see you all at our next podcast. Looking forward to it.
Thank you for having me, Chester, BJ, and
Yeah.
Michael. I appreciate it.
Accessing Life is a podcast produced by the New York State Office for People with Developmental Disabilities, known as OPWDD. The producer is Michael Orzel, hosts Chester Finn and BJ Stasio. To learn more about the Office for People with Developmental Disabilities, supports and services, go to opwdd.ny.gov.